Class Rating, yeah. All right, well, okay. Let's go. It's only 20-minute video, so it shouldn't take that long, right? Let's go.
Part 2 of the Jiudau interview is here, and in this section we break down and rate every single class in an attribute-like system. On a scale 1 to 5, Jiudau shares his thoughts and ratings on each class's performance per attribute. What he doesn't mention, however, is that you can smash that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it supposedly increases your DPS by an average of 1200, but I don't know, that's just what I heard. As I mentioned in this video, this is not only a single player's thoughts and opinions, but also know that there are many different builds that you can have per character, and that would absolutely change some of these ratings. These are based off of Jiudau's personal experience with what he considers as the stereotypical endgame raid build. And again, different forms of PvE content, different bosses, different mechanics, different builds. All of these things should be considered, and know that the following is not an indisputable identity for each class. Originally, this was going to be a part of the first interview video, as it's not super heavy on substance, but as you can see, the length was a little bit of a problem. As much as I would have loved to have gone into detail with each class like we did for the PvP video, the length was just too long, so I decided to separate it, and instead in this video, Jiudau just breaks down each class's attributes, and outside of the occasional side comments, we just burn through this without breaking every class down into detail. Hope you can understand. With that said, huge shout out to Jiudau. Catch him on his YouTube and Twitch channels. Links to that can be found in the description below. As for me, I'm on Twitch live streaming 5 days a week, and the best way to get a hold of me is to either comment down below, catch me on Twitch, or even join the 1HP community Discord.
Skill is better than class choice statement. Well, I mean, like, to be fair, it is the major part of it, but I get like some people prefer, like, you know, some numbers, right? PvP Garbo. Yeah, the thing about, like, I don't know. He said like 1 to 5, right? I think 1 to 5, the scale is pretty small, being 1 to 5. Maybe a bigger scale would be better rather than 1 to 5. Because 1 to 5, you're gonna see people a lot of at like 2, 3, or 4. And then you're gonna think like 2, 3, or 4 being like very similar. So yeah. There will always be meta slaves, yeah. There will always be meta slaves, and they will quit the game really fast because meta changes every other month or something like that.
You don't have to do this if you don't want, but what I've done is I've created a spreadsheet here, okay? And I really don't want to rate the classes in tier list. I had a tier list ready. We're not doing it. It's out. And I feel like filling this out might give a lot of people some idea on the characteristics of their class. For example, like, let's say we take like a warlord, like, you know, maybe like if we have a rating system from 1 to 5, 5 being the highest. If we rank the tankiness, you know, maybe it's like a 5, maybe their burst damage is like a 4, their sustained damage is like a 1, their mobility is a 1, their support is a 4, and their destruction / impairment ability is like a 4, for example. Like, then we can kind of have an idea on what kind of play style this class would be. Is this something that you'd be willing to help us kind of fill out here, or?
It's okay.
Is that cool? Awesome.
Yep.
Let's start with the warrior classes first, then.
Thickness.
And we can go with Berserker. What would you say is the tankiness level for Berserker?
I can put him as a 3.
As a 3?
Yeah, I would say
what about
3 as
burst
well.
damage?
5.
5. Okay. Sustained damage?
2.
Not bad. 3.
3.
Oh,
Okay.
3.
Mobility?
3.
3. Okay. Oh, by the way, let me just kind of explain this, because just a little context. Obviously, builds have a lot to do with
You can hardly see the
stats
number.
like, for example,
Shit.
mobility, right? Like, for example, Zerkers have
I can't
pretty good
show it,
mobility skills, but if you're not speccing and using those skills that offer good mobility, as a lot of other classes may or may not have, it could kill it. So this is based off of Jiudau, this is based off of what you would think is kind of like the regular build, or a standard or close to meta build template for the raids. Yeah. Okay, so support ability. So just so you know, support ability means heals, it means buffs, it means anything that's supportive.
Synergy, basically.
It's 5.
5.
Yep.
Wow, so support is a 5. So can you kind of explain why that is?
As I told you,
Red dust.
the damage that bosses get,
Mm-hmm.
it has synergy that the boss gets more damage from the parties.
Mm-hmm.
That synergies could be very good, and also it's a, I mean, I can just say it's a tier 1 in the balanced raid.
Oh
I mean,
wow.
like
Okay.
the
Balance
hell
rate. Yeah.
mode or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Berserker's the top class that everyone wants to take in the hell mode.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Just a little bit of context there, guys. There are different types of PvE content, one of which is actually a balanced raid where only engravings actually matter. Gear does not. Is that true, Jiudau? Correct me if I'm
Yeah.
wrong.
Right.
Perfect. Okay. What about their destruction/impairment ability?
It could be 4.
4? Okay, great. So this next one would be like how difficult would you say it is to play? So this is just the last two will be on a scale 1 to 3. So what would you say is the difficulty level?
To fully play the Berserker,
Mm-hmm.
it's 3.
3. Okay. This scale is measuring how difficult it is to play the Berserker to its fullest potential. Actually, a 3. It's kind of interesting, Jiudau, because a lot of people think it's not super difficult to play a Berserker, and a lot of people I feel like would rate this as a 1.
It's easy to play.
Easy to play,
but hard to master it.
hard to master. Gotcha.
Yeah, it could be different.
Awesome. Yeah, let's remove that. Okay, let's remove that. Okay, great.
Okay.
And we'll fly through
Should
this.
stop
All right.
on the thing for now. Balance. What is the point of a gear to play than to play that raid? Because you need to meet certain amount of item level to actually enter that raid in the first place. You can't be like 0 item level and enter it. You're just not allowed to. So yep. They actually press button. They do actually. They actually do. Here is the thing. Right? Tankiness 3. I agree with Jiudau. Right? It's not the tankiest, obviously, because you lack the on-demand shields here and there. But it's also not the squishiness because you came from the warrior class, right? So you have a high health and armor coefficient to begin with. Burst damage is amazing because of your. Here's the thing about Zerk, right? You have a long cooldown, but really high damaging skill as well. Plus, it's also like included with your synergy, which is the red dust. 12% damage for the party, including yourself. So burst damage is amazing. 5 right there. 5 out of 5, right? I guess we'll just follow the 1 out of 5. Sustain damage, I feel like it's not that good. I would put it at 2 rather than 3 because it just has a long cooldown basically, and most of the time like you use those skill under your burst damage to begin with, like together because of how long the cooldown is. People like work around your long cooldown instead of like you work around everyone else. So I would rate sustain damage a bit slower. Doesn't mean they don't have sustain damage. I think like it's good, but I don't think it's like amazing or anything. So yeah, mobility 3 standard, and this is assuming like you use at least shoulder charge. So you have your spacebar and shoulder charge, right? Support is synergy. Synergy is 5 because of red dust. Red dust is like one of the more sought after synergy raid buff. Destruction and impair, I guess 4. Yeah, 4 is fair. I guess it's not. I don't think it's as high as like destroyer or warlord, but it is pretty high up there. So yeah. Now difficulty is actually what's controversial here because like Zerk has been known for like the monkey class is the easy class to play. It's not wrong, and difficulty being 3 is not wrong as well, because like to play it and to play it like decently it really doesn't require that much. Basically, it doesn't require that much brain power to do it, but to play it at the highest level is 2 very different things, right? You have to synergize your buff. You being the longest cooldown, you have to like basically think about everyone else's. No, you can't just like throw your skills randomly here and there because you're just gonna delay everyone else's buff. So yeah, it's really like it's high skill level required to play at the highest level. But if you wanna play like normal to a decent level, it's not really that difficult. So yep. Got a good question. Is Scout and Demonic Awakening activated often? Just came to mind suddenly. Awakening activated often. Well, whenever it's off cooldown. So yeah. Oh, identity. Identity depends on the build. If you play transformation, then you kind of use it like pretty often. Like every 10 seconds, you go back to it again. Bard highest difficulty to master. Bard plays Nitrius. Alright, next one is Destroyer. Let's go. What the fuck?
So destroyer, tankiness. What do we have?
5.
5. All right, burst damage.
Burst damage, 4.
4. Okay. Sustain damage.
Sustain damage 4.
4. Okay. Mobility.
Mobility 1.
1. Okay.
Because
Support.
it has hardly any moving skills. Like, yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Support.
Uh,
Again, support, guys. Again, it is buffs
2.
and all that stuff. 2. Okay.
Yep. 2.
Destruction impairment ability.
5.
5. Gotcha.
There we
Holy
go.
Knight. Tankiness.
What?
Actually,
Wait, you
10, I
skipped
want
the
to give
difficulty. You skipped the difficulty.
different
Hello.
10?
Come back.
So let's go 5 plus. Like 5
Yeah.
plus.
Okay, 5 plus is
8+,
good.
something like that.
5 plus. Okay. So, sorry, I forgot difficulty. Again, to master.
Difficulty 4.
4.
Oh, I mean 2.
2. Okay. 2.
Okay. Okay. There we go. Forgot about Destroyer. Mana's ready timing, hardest thing to do in this game, honestly. Mana's ready. Yeah, because you're not getting it, so yeah. Difficulty is a 10. Yeah, he hurt you. Yeah, you're welcome, dude. You're welcome. Yeah, Destroyer, tankiness being 5. True right there. Like, it's like the kind of like class that can basically even trade hits with bosses. Do be mindful though, in the later like raids, you're not actually allowed to just like take any damage. You might not take damage, but you might fail mechanic because of that. So yeah. Burst damage is 4, which is like it's more like because of how slow you are, yeah, to be honest, like using your burst damage, right? Because so you kind of like don't have a lot of time to actually use all of your burst damage skill. Doesn't mean it's bad, it's still really good. And it makes it up like sustained damage still there as well, right? Basically. Mobility is 1 because, well, tankiness being 5, you really don't need that extra mobility, especially in the earlier content. At the later content, you kind of need it. That's why people are like kind of like moving slightly away from Destroyer. Support 2, the thing about like, what's the name? Destroyer, like it has like a impairment synergy. Like impairment is a neutralization, like knockdown, right? And you don't really need that much that like impairment synergy. It's not that reliable basically, if that makes sense. So it's not really that great as well. It's a 2, yeah. And impairment is definitely like really high. Destroyer is like one of the highest impairment impairment class in the game. Difficulty being 2 is okay though, I think. I think it should be 1 or 2. It's really not that difficult to play. And like there is not really like the skill ceiling is actually not as high as well. It's more like the content kind of like fucks you over because of like how fast sometimes the bosses are. But to play like Destroyer is actually not that difficult, even in PvP as well. So yep. Destroy and burst damage. Destroy has nukes. Perfect swing and miss. Here is the thing, right? The thing about the burst being like 4, you hit your perfect swing, yes, sure, really high damage. But what about like this Berserker that did like Red Dust, Finish Strike, and Bloody Rush? He already does way more than your perfect swing. In the same time, you use perfect swing, right? It's just like, not fast enough to basically make use of like a short burst window for damage. That's why it's higher on the sustain. We're missing some fairy plate classes, which is insane. Like it is what it is, man. It's NAEU, so yeah. Destroyer is just a class that you play if you wanna have fun. It is definitely fun. I can say it's definitely fun to play, even if it's not my style. Why does he categorize destruction and impairment together? I don't know. I guess utility, right? We'll call it utility, I guess. I'll say like in a different way. I think like this. I mean like they're kind of situational as well, Arquella. That's why. He? You mean Kanon? What do you mean he? It's PvP Andy, so no brains. What? Nah, he just
Alright,
doesn't
so
have like enough knowledge on PvE, and that's why Jiudau is here, right?
Holy Knight, tankiness. What do we got?
Holy Knight.
4.
5 plus.
4. Okay. Burst damage.
Actually, if you go Holy Knight with DPS, burst damage is 3.
3 with a DPS build. Okay.
Yeah, with a DPS build 3, and the
DPS
sustain
build.
damage would be 3
Sustained damage would be 3. Okay.
with DPS build, and the mobility will be 3.
3.
For yeah.
Okay. Support.
5 for support.
5
and
for
3
support.
for the DPS.
Gotcha. Warlord. What do we got?
No, I mean the destroy.
Mhm.
It will be
Okay.
2.
This would be 2. Okay. Sorry, I keep forgetting about the difficulty. What would the difficulty be? Again, to
Difficulty,
master.
To master it's 0. I mean 1.
0.
Okay.
0. 0, 0. Yeah, it's very. It's bait. Yeah, Paladin DPS ini coming 3 stars out of 3 basically. I mean, you can see it right there, right? Tankiness 4. I feel the tankiness it should be 5 to be honest for Holy Knight because support. Okay, here's the thing, right? DPS Holy Knight maybe 3, maybe 3 to 4, right? And then like for what's the name for like support Holy Knight maybe 5 in tankiness. So average out at around 4, like let's say, right? That's no brainer. Scorpion, it's no brainer. Holy name. Yeah. Like when you play a support, right? You have engraving that basically helps keep you alive. Hence why you're tank here that way, right? And then here's the thing, right? For damage, this is for DPS build. You're 3 and 3. Now you compare it with the other classes. You see how not good you are basically in terms of that, right? In terms of damage. So why wouldn't you take another Berserker, let's say, or another Destroyer than a DPS Holy Knight? So yep, that's basically the argument of it. Not that you cannot, you can. It's just inefficient. So yeah, mobility 3, this is standard. Supports 5 because it's actually a support class. 5 plus, I guess. It is amazing to have like Holy Knight in the party. And destruction impairment is pretty slow, pretty like low for it because like they just don't have enough skill to actually like have a high impairment or destruction properties in it. Difficulty is 1 because well you kind of like cannot die if you play the support build, right? Kind of like cannot die to begin with, and then all you need to do is basically to like line up your buff window, keep the party alive, and you're fine. You yourself can afford to make mistakes, and you make your party able to make mistakes if you're supporting them, and that just makes it like it's a 1 to 2 difficulty, probably 1, most likely 1. Nice nice pause. Sabotaging Western circles. Tandy class, yeah. Kicking any Bard Paladin DPS. I don't say you should kick any like Bard or Paladin DPS. I would though. But it's more like, if you have like a Holy Knight on the DPS spec, why wouldn't you take a Berserker or Destroyer that is applying right under him? Because he's just plain better, right? So yeah, that's basically what it is. Facing almost every Viekus hits. He's fine. He's fine. While me, I get one-shotted. Alright, let's go.
Okay, all right. Warlord tankiness.
I want to give him 5 plus.
Yeah, 5 plus
5
tankiness
plus
Warlord.
tankiness. Let's fucking go. All right. Burst damage.
It's the tankiest.
I feel like they should like make like 2 different build here for this one. I think. Didn't tell difficulty but if the Holy Knight is a god player, so why would what if the Berserker is also a god player? A god player Holy Knight DPS, right? A decent Berserker. Take the Berserker. Because like it's gonna do more DPS anyway. Yeah, it's just never efficient. That's just basically the numbers just says that. So it means nothing to me. It means nothing whether you're a god player or not. You're not a god player in my opinion if you already came in trying in as like a DPS player, DPS Holy Knight, to be honest. Because you're just wasting your class's potential. So I don't know about being a god player. Holy discrimination? It's not about holy discrimination. I play Holy Knight myself, so yeah.
Damage, it will be 5.
5. Okay.
I'm sure that's Lone Knight.
Damage would be 2.
2. Okay.
Yeah, this is Lone Knight right
Mobility?
here.
Mobility would be. It doesn't need mobility because it's so tanky.
Sure.
so-
I get that, but like, even if it doesn't need it, then if
Yeah,
it
1.
doesn't have it, I just want like people that are playing this to kind of know if they're going into Warlord, they're not going to be like a striker dashing around.
I want to give him 1 minus.
One
Means
minus 1.
Minus
So
1.
0.
It's just
Will be okay.
0. Okay. 0. Okay. We'll just leave it at 1 just because it's out of 1 to 5. Okay. All right. Support.
5.
5. Destruction impairment.
5.
5. Okay. So let me actually put this in. Buffs, heals. All right.
I feel like this is like unfair here. I feel like if Warlord is a 5, Holy Knight should be a 5 plus. And so is Bard as well later on. But yeah. Warlord smash mobility Berserker. So this one here, this one is like, oh, he missed the difficulty again. Is he gonna come back?
Arcana.
Oh, the difficulty.
Oh,
of
sorry, the
Warlord
difficulty. I
would
keep
be-
forgetting that.
oh, it's okay.
Yeah,
Would
you're
be
welcome.
2.
2. Fair.
Alright, okay, there we go. Yeah, so yeah, this warlord is the lone knight build here. The lone knight build, right? So I feel like they I guess like Kanon doesn't know, right? But I mean like classes usually have like different builds here and there, right? Warlord has two builds that are both viable. The blue warlord build and the red warlord build is the easier way to tell it. Lone knight is the red one. That's basically I think like it would be like 5 in tankiness for a lone knight. 5 the rest is true for it basically for a lone knight build, right? So but the other one, which is the blue warlord, you probably have a 5 plus tankiness because you're like the tankiest class in the game using a blue warlord, combat stance warlord. Your burst is not that high. Burst is like around 3, but sustain is around 4 because you're always like using skill. Mobility is still 1, still the same, still not good basically, but you don't need it in the first place. Support 5, I would put it basically one step under Holy Knight or Bard, to be honest. Because like while they do have like a really good like Nelasia energy being like providing the shield, he also has a provoke, right? It's not as good as like the healing that like Holy Knight and Bard can do. So yeah, I would say it like higher still. Destruction impairment is 5, is great on like a destruction and impairment. So yeah, difficulty 2 to 3. I think Lone Knight would be no, actually 2. No, both are 2. It's 1 to 3. What am I saying? Yeah, both are 2, I guess, if that is the case. Then both holy no. Lone Knight would be 2 in difficulty. Combat stance would be 1 in difficulty because combat stance is a monkey brain 1 easy class right there because you just never die. So yeah, I think like they should split this one here. I think like yeah, it should split it. Warlord as much mobility as Berserker? You mean Destroyer? Throwing a log around. We should start rating among the classes to begin with. I think it's alright if it's more detailed. This one is lacking kinda details in my opinion. So yeah. They only kinda hold aggro or shield. They still can't heal or give immense damage buff. Exactly, right? Yeah. They still have like a good like armor break buff, right? But it's not as good as like Stigma from Holy Knight with the faith identity. So yeah, I would say it's like one step under Holy Knight. Rather than one step under Holy Knight, it's more like Holy Knight needs to be 5 plus. Because I feel like Berserker is being 5 over here that does. I think like Holy Knight should be 5 plus. So yeah, so already in tier 1 for any EU release, yeah, you can play a Red Warlord. So yeah, but Red Warlord is a class that scales really well with engraving. So it will be just okay at the start because you don't have engravings, but once you get more and more engravings, you will get like exponentially stronger. So yeah, how is Berserker 5 support? Because of red dust. Because of red dust. That's as simple as that, Choi. Red dust is just that good when you're like in the high level burst synergy classes. Red dust is just that strong. So yep. Alright.
All right, let's go to Arcana. Tankiness.
2,
2. Burst
2.
damage.
2,
2. Sustain damage.
Interesting.
5,
5. Mobility.
4,
4. Support.
4. It's a crit synergy.
Crit synergy.
So everyone likes it.
Mm-hmm.
Could be
4.
4,
4. Okay. Destruction impairment.
2,
2. Gotcha. Difficulty to play.
3.
3.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so Arcana right there. That's Arcana. Pretty simple, I guess. I guess they don't really go into that in depth, so I'll just go through it, right? So Arcana, tankiness, it's like one of the squishiest class, being like, even though it's a magician, it's actually like more like a melee. It plays more like an assassin than like some of the assassins. So yeah, literally maintain 10 millions. Oh yeah, in 10 minutes. yeah, I guess yeah. Here is the thing, right? I mean like the damage is really high, right? And people are keep saying like, oh, it's RNG based or something like that. No, it is not really that RNG based. Yes, there is RNG to it, but you're kind of like over exaggerating how much RNG is actually there, because you only have like one card that actually reduce your damage by 20%, and that's not even 100% as well. It's a card that is like a high risk, high reward basically. So for Arcana, for those of you that don't know, there is a card that gives you 40% damage or a negative 20% damage, basically, when you use it. So it's either you get one or the other, right? That's basically to the extent of it. So there is not really that much RNG into it, because like the rest of the cards basically buffs at that point. So yeah, For those of you that think like when people are saying like, oh, Arcana is heavily RNG related, no, it's not really that RNG related. So yeah, tankiness really squishy because magician based class, right? Basically, you don't have Arcana doesn't have like shield, like on demand shield as well. Low health and armor coefficient, so it's just like that squishy. Burst damage is 2. I would think like it might be higher because of like how it works, but then like I realized there is like stacking of the cards and everything, right? So it's not really that reliable in burst damage. Sustained damage on the other hand is really high though, that's for sure. Mobility 4, yep, it does have like a decent mobility. Support because of crit synergy. For those of you that don't know, Arcana has a 10% critical rate buff for the party, and that is a full uptime. So everyone gets a 10% critical, a higher critical rate, and people like that basically, right? Critical rate. And Destruction Impairment 2 is actually like one of the lower ones. Like it's actually pretty low. Like you don't really count on Arcana to impair or destroy like parts of the boss. So yeah, but it's also still one of the hardest class to play. Well, mainly because of how squishy they are, to be honest. Because like to pull off these numbers of damage, you kind of have to be like always be close, right? So mistakes with this tankiness level here means you might just die. That's why it's really hard to play. So yep. Winds Whisper on BM. Yeah, we'll get to that later, Karen. Right, Bart now.
Try not to actually interact with chat, but that comment's actually hilarious. Warlord mobility? What's that? Never. All right, sorry. Bard, here we go. Sorry, YouTube. Chat's too funny. Bard, tankiness.
If you go with the DPS build, it would be 1.
1 with a DPS build.
Yep, but 5 with the support build.
There we go. Now we're getting more specific.
Because
Why didn't he do Holy
use
Knight?
the 중갑작용. Use the your defense engravings. The burst damage 1.
Burst damage 1. Gotcha. What about DPS build? I feel like I could
Yeah,
do
it's
this.
same. It
Same?
doesn't have any burst.
Burst damage. Okay, gotcha. Sustained damage.
Support for 0, but for DPS it will be 4.
4. Okay. Actually, we'll just put that as 0. Why not? Mobility. Oh, no. Sorry, being decisive. All right. So mobility.
1.
1. Support.
Support 5.
5.
Plus
5 plus. Destruction impairment ability.
3.
3. Okay. Difficulty to master.
Master 2.
2. Gotcha. Let's go with the summoner.
Okay, Bart has a DPS build. I know what I'm gonna do. Well, you see it right there, 1 and 4. So that's your DPS right there. Well, Bard's Ready Weapon is crap too. It is kind of like not that great, but it is definitely better than Holy Knight, Scorpion, because it just has more options. That's basically what it is, you know. Zerg is 3 for difficulty. It is 3 for difficulty, BC. Because here is it. I explained it already basically earlier. You can go back in the video if you wanna see why it's 3, actually 3. So yep. 4, it's a DPS build. It's a sustained damage cast, but the game revolves around both. It's not just like you sustain damage for the rest of the fight. No, there is the burst window, there is the sustained damage window, right? So you combine the both. If Destroyer has 4 and 4 and you have 1 and 4, so obviously you're heavily lacking in damage already in a DPS build, right? So yeah, time to get rejected in party. 4 in sustain is not bad, but this is specifically with the new set, with the set for the thing. Still like the more, yeah, still, yeah, I guess in a way. Yeah, okay, yeah. This like a DPS build is specifically work on with the new set, Legion Race set, something that like NAEU would not have for like at least half a year. So NAU players, just watch out, man. It's not really like, it's pretty out of context on this one right here. Alright, but yeah, tankiness, 1 DPS build. Yes, it is like 1. If anything, it could be 0 because Bart is actually the one with the lowest health and armor coefficient. It's just not the tanky, not the squishiest, because if you're a support build, then you're super tanky because you have your defensive engravings. But if you're a DPS, then obviously you're like the squishiest one out of everyone, even more than Reapers. Burst damage is 1 because you just don't have any like burst potential to begin with, right? Sustained damage is 1 as well if you're a support. Not that you need damage in the first place, but if you're a DPS build with the set, the 6-piece set, right? That makes your DPS actually is decent is 4. Doesn't mean it's even great though, because your burst damage is still 1. Mobility, I feel like it should be higher. I don't think it's 1. I feel like it would be 3 or 2. Because like, well, support bar, not damage bar, not DPS bar. We'll ignore the DPS bar. The support bar usually has a high agility, spirit absorb, so you move really fast to begin with, right? Way faster than everyone else's. You have 1 space bar, yeah, sure, but like most of the time, space bar is more like your jail-free card rather than you always need it. So I feel like it would be 2 or 3 for mobility. For support, if you're a DPS, then yeah, 1 I guess. Maybe 0 because you only have 1 space bar. Don't even have a choice. Support 5 plus. I still think it should be same with Holy Knight 5 plus as well. In terms of Bard, the buffs and heals is more of the defensive part. You have like more access to shielding for the party, more like survivability for the party, right? Attack speed and all of those stuff. You still have really good like damage synergy as well. But that's a different case than Holy Knight. Holy Knight, on the other hand, is a 5 plus because it still has heal and shield, but the buffs is more oriented towards the offensive for the party. Party does more damage with Holy Knight, basically. While with the Bard, party is more survivable. But both is still amazing. Both still provide like health and shield. Impairment 3, as I said earlier, than Holy Knight, it just has more option. Not that it's great or anything, it just has more option than Holy Knight. Still less than like almost every other class though. So yeah, difficulty to master is 2, right? I would say 2, I guess. Yeah, probably the same, I guess, because you do have a choice, right? Your damage buff comes from your identity as well, and your identity is a choice between healing or DPS. So you need to know that whether to use healing or damage buff. It makes it like slightly harder because there is still like this split decision making that you need to do over there, whether your party needs healing or not, and stuff like that. And then like lining up the shield and everything, the party buff. It is like it is where it gets to be difficult. So yep, maybe high spec Bard he's thinking of high spec Bard, but if it's high spec Bard and support, you still have spirit absorb. You're still faster than most classes. So yeah, it should at least be 2, right? Exactly, yeah. It's what I think as well, Scorpion. So much agility. Yep. DPS bar is slightly higher than Devil Hunter. Alright, fine, let's go. Alright, next one, Summoner.
2? Okay.
Wait a minute. I just realized there is no Sorceress right here. Maybe he'll add it later.
Burst damage.
would be 1,
1. Okay. Sustain.
5,
5, yep.
5. Okay. Mobility.
2,
2. Support.
3,
3. Okay. Destruction impairment.
4,
4. Okay. Difficulty to
1.
master.
2.
Oh, it's
2?
still 2
Okay.
actually.
Solo climb PvP rankings. 12.
The fuck? Okay, yeah. Summoner. Zerg not 2-button class. I explained that already, Asura. Just go back. I explained why it's actually 3. He did the video before Sorcerer. I see. Okay. Well, it is okay. Sorcerer is not even an AU anyway, so who cares, right? But almost same damage as Summoner. Here is the I'll explain what's different about it though, Shiro. But yeah. It will be, I guess, Asura. I'll compile it later. Alright. Summoners, right? Summoner tankiness is the same as like Arcana. Same problem. Magician class. You actually have a direct access to shield, right? Rainey's Blessing, right? Yeah, you do have an access to it. But most of the time, your build does not actually use that. Because like that's basically 1 DPS skill that you take off for your survivability. So yeah. 2 in tankiness. Same like Arcana, I guess. But here is the thing about like tankiness, right? Summoner is like you can play it as a fully ranged class, right? So you don't even have to come close in the boss. So while it's not as the tankiest, but it is still more survivable because you just have like more options as a range, right? Yes, I agree with you, Sardi. I did tell everyone earlier that 1 to 5 is a bit low. Like they need to make it higher, I think. Burst damage is 1 because same thing. You don't have a lot of burst potential. You have your ancient spear to do like a lot of damage, but it really is like nothing compared to every other classes, right? Sustained damage though is 5, and this is 5 with like easy 5, by the way, because like you don't even have to actually like maintain your damage because like your pet just does it for you, right? You do your skills, but your pet is basically always maintain damage anyway. So sustained damage is 5 over there. Mobility 2. Same thing, I would say Bard is in the same slot. Summoner and Bard are the two classes that usually have max movement speed to begin with, right? And you only have one space bar. So I feel like if Bard is 1, Summoner should be 1 as well. So I think both are 2 though. So yeah, support 3, you have like a high armor destruction at low uptime with your moss, your green moss thing, which is nice. Not the best though. People don't really like care about like armor destruction. Destruction impairment is 4. I would say 3 to 4 to be honest. Depends on like what you have available because you have like some high cooldown here and there as well. Oh, I guess with ancient spear, maybe it is pretty high. Yeah, 3 to 4, I guess. And difficulty, I would say is 1. I would say difficulty is 1. I don't know why it's 2, but I would say it's 1. It's pretty easy to play, pretty easy to maintain damage. Yeah, I would say it's 1. But yeah. 341, no, it's endgame tier 3. That's why. That's why you have like this Bard at like 4 on like a DPS build. Because you have the set for that. Arcana has the range build too. Well, you take off these numbers then. If you want a range build 1, 0. Take off this number. Because if you wanna be optimal, you need to be like really close to the boss. PvE has no idea how to PvE honestly, unless spec build, but even then it's a loss. Even then it's suboptimal, right? So yeah. Yeah, spear hits triple as well. That's why. Yeah, 3 to 4 I would say still. I don't think it's like, that high. I don't think it's Berserker high, if that makes sense, Scorpion. See, here's the thing, right? This is why I think it should be 10. Because that's like a much more comprehensive compared to like this. I don't think it's as high as Berserker's impairment. Even if your spear hits triple time, right? Not to mention it's also like you have to cast it. Edict actually less damage. The whole Arcana Discord says they are similar. Emperor's Edict compared to Empress Grace, you do like about a few percent different. Like let's say like around 4 to 5%. I don't think it's that much of a difference. If you play Edict better, you can still out DPS Empress. It depends on your own playstyle. So yeah. As I said, right, you have to you kind of wanna split this into 2, basically, into like each build as well. All right, let's go next.
Blade, tankiness.
Blade's tankiness would be 3.
3. Okay. Burst damage.
Burst damage 2.
2. Okay.
2.
Sustained damage.
5.
5. Mobility.
4.
4.
Nice.
Support.
2.
2. Destro impairment.
Destruction.
4. Difficulty to master.
I can say it's 2.
2. Okay. Okay. Fair.
Okay, Blade is Blade right there. Empress is best so far, but so it's rare to find a good Arcana in every place. Yep, Arcana is just not there to begin with. It's like pretty unpopular. Like because the class is bad, but people just it just fell out of favor, I guess, outside compared to the other classes. Blade 3 in tankiness. It's 3. It's 3. Is it 3? It is 3, I guess I would say. In this like a 1 to 5, it's probably 3. Not the tankiest, but not the squishiest as well. So yeah, burst damage is 2 because I mean like you don't really have a lot of like burst damage potential. You have your supercharged skills, but that takes longer to actually execute. So on that short window, so it's not really that good on burst. Sustain is high though, because you do have like some really high damaging skills here and there as well. Mobility is 4. I feel like this includes the skill Axle, where you can jump over bosses, which is like some people don't really take. I guess if you don't take that like that Axle skill in like to do more damage, then I guess 3. If you take the Axle skill, then 4, I guess. So yeah, support, I would say 1 even. The thing about, here is the thing about Blade's synergy skill, right? The Blade synergy skill comes from Spin Cutter, and that synergy is actually a 10% damage gain on back attack and head attack. That by itself already like basically nullifies all of the non-directional attack classes, right? So its efficiency is already cut down by that. I guess it's okay, it's 2 if the party is like heavily back or head attack synergy. But it would be 1, I think. Because like it's just very situational. I mean it's good for Blade itself, but I mean like what about the other classes? If you have like a Gunslinger or like a Legacy Scout on your party, they kind of don't take any synergy from you. That would be a 0. Yeah, Destruction impairment 4. You do have a really good impairment, and Destruction is not that bad as well. Yeah, I guess they should have split this, I guess. Either way, it's a 4. It's okay, I guess. It's pretty good. Destruction, Assuming you have all of your skill on off cooldown. Difficulty to master 2. 2? I think it depends. Blade is a like back attack reliant class. So I feel like it would be 3. I think any of the back attack reliant class would be 3. Unless it's in NAEU. NAEU with tier 1 content would have like a pretty easy content. So back attack is not an issue at all. So that would be 2. But like Legion Raids starting Biakis, Cuckoo Satan and Abril Shoot, back attack is it's actually hard to actually maintain the whole time. So it might be 3, 2 to 3 for me. Just because of back attack, to be honest. The class itself is not hard to play. But yeah. Milestone. Pretty easy, literally no mechanics. Yeah, exactly. Literally not easy. Well, I meant like Beru is pretty slow as well, right? You know, Beru is not exactly not that easy, but yeah, they don't move as much if that makes sense. So yeah, buff blade party synergy. I wish they do, cause I really think this the party synergy is very situational. I'm not a big fan of it. Well, I guess I'm not a my main is not a directional class anyway, so yeah. Well, that's Blade right there. It is what it is. Let's move on. Demonic is next.
Tankiness, demonic.
Demonic,
Mhm.
2. No, I
Two.
mean 3.
3, okay. Burst damage,
2.
2. Sustained damage,
5.
5. Mobility,
4.
4. Support,
3.
3. Destruction impairment,
2.
2. Difficulty to master,
1.
1.
One.
Reaper, tankiness.
Okay. So demonic right here, demonic. Again, demonic have to build that basically like pretty difference between the two, right? There is a transformation build and there is the non-transform build, the perfect control build. So yeah, don't make any sense how are all sustain 5 damage. Which one, Ramlet? I mean, it makes sense to me. Either way, okay. Demonic right. Tankiness 3 if you're playing a transformation build. I don't think 1 does apply for demonic. 1? It depends, to be honest, Scorpion. Yeah, for transform build, exactly right. So that's why we have to split right now. So demonic right here, if your transformation, yes, you're 3 right here. Tankiness is 3, right? Burst damage is kinda 2 because you're actually like really high on sustained damage. Because you just like your damage comes from your full transformation window, which is like around 30 seconds, and you go back in really fast anyway on transformation. Mobility is 4 because you have like a 7-second cooldown and really fast spacebar. You have your Q, your dash in demonic. You have your demonic slash in outside of it as well. So yeah, you're actually like pretty mobile. Support is 3, 4 I would say. So I would say support is 4 because demonic, just like Berserker, has a 12% damage gain on the party. Wait, it should be 5 as well then, because Berserker is 5. Yeah, it will be 4 to 5, I guess. But yeah, probably level 2 in my opinion at least. Yeah, destruction and impairment, I think it's higher. I think destruction or impairment should be 3 to 4 if you are transformation. 4 probably, yeah. And then difficulty, I guess 1. It's not that difficult to actually play the transformation demonic. So yeah. Now here the thing about like the control build, right? Control build is totally different. Control build is like for demonic, right? Tankiness becomes 2, because you don't have the free heal. Whenever you transform, you get the 20% HP heal, right? You don't get that in control because you cannot transform in the first place. I should be 2 on tankiness, right? Burst damage is higher because you burst your skill, probably 3, and sustain damage would be 4, I would say. So it's still a balance. It's still like comparable enough. But it should be 3, 4, I think, in my opinion. Mobility is 4, same thing as well, because you still have your demonic slash and your spacebar. Your demonic slash, if it's tripod high enough, it has 2 charges. It's a combo skill, so you can like zoom all around. Support, same thing. It would be like the 12% damage buff for the party, just like Berserker. I would say still 5, I think. And then destruction impairment would be 2, because like if you're like control build, you don't actually have a high destruction or impairment to begin with. So yeah, and then difficulty it would be 2 as well. At the if it's a control build, because like it's actually harder to play, especially with how squishy you are. Should make a tier list. Well, I mean, like it's better. Like if I make a tier list, it would be the same like this. It would be like that thing right there supports as everything else A, and then I would explain one by one each class and what they do with specific builds as well. You want the in-depth explanation? Well, I kind of just did it. Maybe I did it later. Maybe I'll do it later. I don't know. We'll see.
Tankiness.
Reaper.
1. Same in PvP. Burst damage.
Yum. Thank you for the follow.
Burst
Welcome, welcome.
Damage, 2.
2. Okay. Sustain damage.
No, actually 3. I can say. for
Burst
you.
3. Okay. Sustain.
Sustain. 5.
5. What about the mobility?
5.
5. 5 plus.
Yeah,
Okay.
5 plus.
Support.
3.
3. Destruction impairment ability.
I can say it's 2.
2. Okay. Difficulty to master.
2.
2. Blaster.
Okay, this thing, I'm pretty sure this is Thirst build. Again, Reaper has 2 build. Moon Sound and Thirst. Two different tier, 2 different rating. I think they should make it. But yeah, Reaper right here for Moon, both build really squishy anyway. So tankiness is 1 for sure. 5 plus if you get hit by mechanic, you don't have hands on Reaper. Stealth backstab, you scrub the backstab on the laser. Yep, exactly. Yep. Yeah, but yeah, there is 2 build, right? Thirst and Moon Sound. For those of you that doesn't know, Moon Sound is more burst oriented, while Thirst is more sustained damage oriented. Okay, so Reaper, both are squishy anyway. You make mistakes, you kind of like dead at that point, or maybe so close to die, basically. Tankiness is 1. It's just basically it's the squishiest class in the game, barring DPS Bard. So DPS Bard, go to hell. So Reaper squishiest class in the game, 1 tankiness. Burst damage is 3 and sustained damage is 5. This is Thirst build, right? Because Thirst build has a decent burst damage using the red skills, the rage skills. Sustained damage is 5 because you just maintain damage the whole time as a Thirst build. Mobility is 5 because you have like all of these dashes basically. Some of your dash can even go through a boss. This doesn't really like, you know, exist for like a lot of the other classes. So mobility is 5 plus for sure. Thirst build is even faster because you have like the passive like 20% speed buff if you play well. Support is 3. So for those of you that don't know, Reaper has like a 20% critical damage multiplier synergy. It's not as great as you think it is because like if your critical does 200%, then you do like 220% right now with a 20% plus, right? So in reality, you actually get 10% damage gain if you do crit. If you do not crit, you don't get that 10%. So yeah, it's pretty crit reliant on the synergy. That's why it's 3. It's not the best. It's not the worst as well. It's pretty okay, I guess. And it's pretty good for a party that actually like has a high crit synergy basically. So yep. Destruction Impair for Thirst, that would be 2, yes, because I'll explain later. It would be 2 because like the classes does same thing, right? It doesn't really have that high impairment or like a high count, high like a multi-hit skill to actually like basically have a high destruction or impairment. So yeah, difficulty to master, I feel like it would be 3. I just think it's just unnecessarily like difficult for some reason because of how squishy they are, how they have to stick into the boss. One mistake means you're kind of like close to death already. I feel like it would be 3. Not because it's good or anything, just because like it's just really hard to play. I feel like it's just very demanding. Paper cuts hurt. Yeah, to min max Reaper is probably 3. Yeah. If Zerk is 3 too, min max Reaper it would be 3 as well. So yeah, get flamed by toxic bard. Oh, that's Zerk right there. Yeah, and then next one is the Moon Sound, right? Reaper, Moon Sound. This is the same, right? Tankiness is 1 because still the squishiest one. Burst damage, I think that would be 5 for Moon Sound because you hit really high if you can maintain that basically. Because you need the back attack, you need to critical hit your burst skill would be 5. Sustained damage would be like 3, I guess. Because like other than like the burst, you're basically just building gauge to burst again. So 5-3, I guess. So in reverse, I guess in reverse, right? Mobility same, 5 plus. You have like this teleport, you have the dash that goes through the boss, so same thing. Support 3, you have the same synergy. Destruction or impair, I would say it's 3 because if you use it with your burst buff. So for those of you that doesn't know, right, Moon Sound plays using like the identity. You use the identity, you become invisible, you jump back, and then it buffs your next red skill, right? Now, when you buff this red skill, you have a higher impairment value out of it, basically. So it would be 3, I guess. It's not that high, and it's very situational because you need to have that buff as well. But it's higher than the first one for sure. Difficulty to master, same thing. It will be 3 as well because of the same reason. It's just that squishy and unnecessarily hard to min-max. So, yep. Is Invent the closest thing to Loa Wiki we have? Kinda, in a way. I guess. In-depth Blaster analysis? Yeah, Blaster is next. Let's go. Hunter, let's go. Now, this is like my stuff right here. Because like, I do play a lot of gunners. Alright, Blaster next.
Tankiness.
4.
4. Okay. Burst damage.
4.
4. Sustain damage.
4.
4. Mobility.
4.
2.
2. Support.
4.
4. Destruction / impair.
4.
4. Okay. Difficulty to master. Not
It would be 3.
3. Okay.
3.
Devil Hunter. Tankiness.
Alright, here we go. OP classes incoming. Let's go. 4? What do you mean 4? It's rating it high. Yeah. So Blaster, tankiness 4. I feel like it should be 5. Because you just have that much option to begin with. It's not 5 plus. I think it. Wait, Destroyer is 5 though. Shit. Maybe I should bump the Destroyer to be 5 plus and Warlord would be 6 plus. Yeah, Blaster is like pretty tanky. Here's the thing about Blaster, right? You have this on-demand big shield that even lets you like, prevents you from getting knocked down and everything, right? You have a high armor and health coefficient to begin with. Your class engraving, which is what you should use, because Blaster basically have one class engraving that you actually use to rate, right? The other one is basically for mobbing. No one uses that. That engraving makes you take reduced 30% damage. That by itself is already like tankier than like almost every classes, barring Destroyer and Warlord, basically, and the supports, I guess. But yeah, it should be 5. I think it should be 5. I would say it's 5. Burst damage is 4, which is fair. I think it's okay. Your burst damage come from missile bombing and airstrike, which is like your hardest hitting skills. But that is it. Sustain damage is 4 because you do have like other like high damaging skill through flamethrower, the turrets, what's the name, rocket barrage, and all of the other skills. So it's a 4/4. It's pretty good. It's still a high damaging class in my opinion though. And considering the fact that like you can be like kind of like almost fully range, almost, not always. Even if you're melee, you have the shield anyway. It's not that hard to pull off the number. Except if the boss is like a fast-moving boss, then, well, I mean, like, that's just a Blaster right there, right? Mobility 2, because you only have one space bar. Most of the time, you build through agility or spirit absorb, so you do have a high base movement speed. So 2 is fair, because like, well, only one space bar. Not that you need it anyway. Support is 4. 4. 4. More Milkies, thank you for the follow. Welcome. I would say support would synergy would be 3 actually, unless you use a shielding tripod for the party. Kinoa, thank you for the follow as well. Yeah, it's 3 to 4. Okay, here is the thing, right? Party synergy for Blaster is impairment synergy, first one, which no one really cares about, and then an armor destruction synergy, 20% armor destruction, full uptime, right? This 2 is not actually that great. That's why I think like it's 3, right? But I guess you can tripod your shield, the shield that like I just said that makes you like immune to like knockdown and everything, into like a party shield, which is nice in a way. You can kind of support. I guess like with that like party shield tripod, maybe it's a 4, but it's a 3 outside of if you don't use that, which I don't. I think most people don't use that as well. So yeah, destruction impairment is 4. I would say it's 5. I think it should be 5 if you have all of your skills up. Here is the thing about Blaster, right? Blaster impairment is really high, but it's not on demand because you have this delayed hit skill, right? Sometimes those delayed hit skill just hit too late, so you just can't have it, right? So it's pretty situational, but it's pretty high impairment. It's between 3 to 5. If you have it off cooldown and ready, it's 5. If you don't have it off cooldown, then it's 3. Simple as that, I think. And difficulty is 3. I would say it's 2 actually. I don't think it's that difficult to play blaster. To 5-head it, maybe 3. To 5-head blaster. Never miss all of your skills. Maybe it's 3. But just to throw it out and hit like everything, it's not really that difficult. So I think it averages at around 2. I would say it's 2 for difficulty as a blaster player. So yeah. Scout going to be only 5. Reasons technology. Hell yeah. She's a fast boss, Christ and blaster. No, you 5-headed, Shiro. You 5-head. Yeah, 1 to 10 scale tier list when? Don't know when. In general, wouldn't that be better for the community? Well, I mean, like, if that is the case, it's kind of difficult, Karen. Because you can't ask anyone for that. Because anyone will be subjective about it. Like, right now, Jiudau is saying his opinion, I'm saying my opinion, right? And people would not agree with my opinion fully as well. So, yeah. They were supposed already to make one at some point. Who? Well, either way. Alright, let's move on. Devil Hunter now for now. Devil Hunter. Community is toxic.
1.
1.
The burst damage.
1?
1.
1.
1?
Okay. Sustain damage.
Sustained damage 5.
5. Mobility.
5 plus
5 plus. Okay. Support.
5.
5.
I mean 4.
4. Okay. Destruction impairment.
Not bad. I can give 3.
3. Okay. Difficulty to master.
3.
3.
3. Okay. Gunslinger.
Weird. That is actually weird. I don't really agree with this one. This is like one of the lists that I actually don't really agree. Like one of the class thing. For DH, everything 1 DH, so shit. It's not shit. Okay, think about the play blaster because I like the everyone playstyle. Didn't know it was that strong. It's a really good class, you know. It's like one of the class that has been consistently good from the gunner one. The rest has been like going up and down. So yeah, 2 without the guns only. Think about Devil Hunter, right? We'll ignore handgunner build. We'll ignore that, I think. For people that wants handgunner, well, whatever, I guess. We'll tackle that later. But Devil Hunter, right? Possibly if played properly, I would think so as well. Oh, this might be pre-buff. This might be pre-death set buff. That's why. Okay. Let's go. Yeah, you disagree with impairment, right? I disagree with impairment. Okay, we'll go through it, right? Tankiness, I don't think it's 1. I don't think this is like squishier than Arcana or well, Arcana, I guess, because both are pretty much melee. I don't think this is squishier than Arcana. I would say it's 2 as well. Probably pretty close to Arcana. It's not Berserker level. It's definitely Arcana level though. So yeah. Alright, see you, Kanon. Burst damage, I think it should be 5. And sustained damage, I think it would be like 1 or 2. I feel like it shouldn't be like this. The thing about like yeah, Arcana 2, then DH 2, right? Yeah. The thing about like DH is that like you're supposed to burst all of your shotgun skill together with everything. So it should be a burst damage. You use your equilibrium 12-second buff and then you cycle all of your shotgun skill right away. Each of those shotgun shot can do like so much damage as well if you do it properly from the back, point blank and everything. I think the burst damage is the high part. The sustain is actually the one that is not that high, because when your shotgun is on cooldown, then you're just like using your filler, your sniper, your handgun. So yeah, I don't think it's that high. Yeah, maybe it depends on like how you play on Devil Hunter. But yeah, I don't really agree with this one for now. Mobility is 5 plus, that I agree because of the... You just have like so much movement skill through your handgun. So it's pretty easy to be really mobile as a Devil Hunter. Support is 4, same as Arcana. Devil Hunter has a 10% critical rate buff synergy for everyone as well. So everyone in the party. So yeah, 4 as well. Destruction impairment, I would say it's 4 as well. Assuming you have your cooldown is up on your shotgun, because your shotgun is the one that has a high impairment as well. Depending on the tripod, it can be higher as well. So I would say it's 4 still. Difficulty is 3 though, because like again, as I said with like some of the classes, it's back attack classes kinda, so it's really hard to min max. So it's 3 as well. So yeah. Is this Saint Guns only Devil handgun only Devil Hunter? No, we're not gonna talk about that one. Saint will raid that one. So yeah. It's any you think Tritium parsing is going to be his issue. Does that make any sense if you pick same synergy? What do you mean if you pick same synergy? You're gonna land your skill and get one shot or dodge the mechanic. Oh, I see, I see. Well, it's a big if, right? It's a big if. Think about that. It's all about the big if. Like talking about like maximum potential. It's a big if because like you're not gonna be able to put off like max potential every time. But yeah, it doesn't make any sense if you pick same synergy. Yeah, I don't get it, Ramlet. I mean, the class just has the same synergy, so I don't understand. What do you mean? I will go down. Why 4 on support? Which one? 4 on support? Eh? Mm, DH? Because it has it's not support. It's more like synergy. I think this is misleading right here. This is synergy right here. So synergy for Devil Hunter. So for those of you that doesn't know, Devil Hunter has like the handgun skill that like provides 10% critical rate to everyone. Critical in general is just like sought after on you know, on the fights basically, on like on a party. So 10% critical rate, full uptime by the way, so it's always up. It's a really good one to have. That's why it's 4. It's not 5, but it's not 3 as well because it's not at the tier of like armor destruction on this one. So yep. Alright, next one, Gunslinger. We'll see this one.
1,
1. Burst damage.
2 for the burst damage.
Sustain.
5.
Mobility.
5 plus.
Is
5
it
plus. Support.
4.
4. Destruction impairment.
Actually, can I give 2 for burst damage with Devil Hunter?
For Devil Hunter, 2 for burst damage. Yep.
It's almost same as the Gunslinger.
Gotcha. Destruction impairment for Gunslinger.
Yeah, it's almost same.
Same. Okay. Same with difficulty to master as well. Okay. All right.
Uh,
Hawkeye.
Can I give
Yep.
her the 5 plus for sustained damage?
Sustain damage 5 plus. Yes. Hawkeye.
Yeah, same thing. I don't know about this one, sir. I don't know about this one. Kinda same as Arcana, yeah. 10% critical rate is Gucci, yeah. Let's say if you pick Bard, Paladin, DH, and Reaper plus Hawkeye plus someone. Okay? Wait. 1 on thickness. Okay, yeah. Gunslinger should be 2 as well. Same with Arcana. Thing about Gunslinger though, Gunslinger do have the choice of like being a range because like you do have a decent damage on your sniper. So I would say it's still like that. For burst damage, I would say it's 3, I guess. I would say it's 3. And sustained damage would be 5, I think. Yeah, I would say that, I guess. Because, like, sustained damage is pretty easy as a Gunslinger. Because if you have to disengage from boss, you can use your sniper. If you can go melee, you can use your shotgun. So it's always, like, just, like, damage all around, right? Burst damage is not that high. Because, like, well, you can't just use all 8 skill within 6-second window. You just don't have time. So I feel like burst damage is just not that high. It's like a 2 to 3, I guess. Yeah. Because you just don't burst that much, I think, in my opinion. You can burst, like, let's say, target down and 1 sniper skill in 6 seconds. And I don't think that's you know, well, you're missing out on some, like, a burst potential, I think, in my opinion. Mobility 5 plus, same thing, because of the handgun having, like, a lot of mobility. Support is the same, 10% critical rate. Destruction or impair is 3. If you are, okay, destruction or impair is different here, because, like, there is 2 build for Gunslinger, right? But they are pretty much similar enough, to be honest, all of the thing, except for the impairment. Hunt time, Gunslinger, this is the one, for those of you guys that locks the shotgun out, you actually have a really low impairment. Impairment is probably like 1 on, like, hunt time. On Peacemaker, which is the shotgun, it would be 4, I guess. Yeah, 4. Same with, like, a Devil Hunter, if you have a shotgun. If you use your shotgun for it, so yeah. Difficulty, same, 3. For the same thing, basically. You need, like, a lot of, like, optimization to do it. In the case of Gunslinger, it's not about back attack. Optimization is about minimizing downtime for Gunslinger. So yeah. Let's say you pick Bard, Paladin, DH, and Reaper plus Hawkeye or someone. Reaper gonna do damage, then DH, and say they hit all skills. What? I have no idea what you're on about, Ramlet. Peppy, thank you for the follow. Welcome. These that have spec a lot and barely crit chances, they profit tons of crit chance at least. Yep. If you pick same Reaper, gonna out DPS your DH perfectly played. I wouldn't think so, actually, Ramlet. I wouldn't think so, especially because you have zero clue on like even like gear set anyway. You have no idea how that actually works. You don't even have it right now, because you're Russia. All right, Hawkeye. Hawkeye is next.
Tankiness.
2.
2.
Thirst damage, 2.
2. Okay, sustain damage.
5.
5. Mobility.
3.
3. Support.
3.
3. Destruction impairment. 2. Difficulty to master.
Wait, what?
2.5.
2.5. Interesting.
2.5. Okay, interesting. Yeah, 2.5. Gave it reason, I'm losing my mind. Why Blade has 2 at support, attack speed buff, mobility buff, damage to head attack buff, that has no cooldown. Suck, I guess. You wanna know why it sucks? Wanna know why, Silence? How many classes actually back at head attack? How many class doesn't have actually like benefit from that? How many of those? You tell me right now whether it sucks or not. Attack speed buff, yes, it's nice. Attack speed buff, yeah. But does people like really need that attack speed buff to begin with? Not necessarily, right? It's pretty situational in that is the case. Some classes doesn't need that attack speed to begin with. So yeah, you wanna know why it's not that good? It's because it's situational. Like it's good when it's the right situation. Outside of the and the wrong situation, it's just not that good. That's just how it is, right? Blade weak? I don't think it's weak. I don't think so. So yeah. Alone, Summoner, Sorcerer's Hawk, don't give a but your back attack. What about Legacy Scout? What about Holy Knight? Oh, well, Holy Knight I guess doesn't matter. Summoner, let's say Transformation Demonic, right? Blaster, Gunslinger, Hawkeye, Legacy Scout. Lance Master sometimes don't care as well. So yep. And then like you compare it with like classes that is like 10% critical rate to everyone. You wanna put it on the same tier? Hell no, of course not. Because like you don't even affect 50% of the roster to begin with. So yeah. Okay, next. Oh, actually no. We were on Hawkeye actually. We were on Hawkeye. Do you think Demonic will be strong class start in NA? Yep, I think it will be a pretty good class to start. Is it newbie friendly? Not necessarily. I wouldn't recommend it for newbie. But if you do enjoy it, do play it. Don't let me stop you from playing any class. Okay, Hawkeye, Tankiness 2. Again, I don't know why like Deathblade and Gunslinger is 1. Whatever, I guess. Hawkeye would be 2, right? But at the same time, you're like fully ranged as well. Well, you can be fully ranged, I guess. So you do have that option for survivability. But it is 2 in tankiness. Burst damage is 2. Yeah, I don't know about that one, dude. It's 2 and 5 if you're playing second ally. But it would be like 4 and 3 if you're playing death rate build. Because your burst is you're actually heavily burst oriented if you play death rate build. Again, 2 different build then, right? So yeah, that's what it is, I guess. Or even like it's 5-2 for death rate because you don't even use your skill if you're outside of death rate. So 5-2 for death rate. 5-2 to 5. Same comparable damage, but burst has a higher potential because of party synergy. So yeah, mobility is 3. 3? 4, I would say. 3 to 4. Yeah, 3 to 4, I would say. Because you have your like move and cut, which is like a mobility skill, and your space bar. Your space bar is actually like pretty fast as well, pretty instant. So it's not that bad. I guess because of the fact that you have like a lot of charging skill and holding skill, yeah, it might be like you can't really use that much mobility. Maybe 3 is fair, 3 to 4, depending on like how would you count the charging skill or not to hamper your mobility. Support is 3 because support is 3 is okay, I guess. Support is 3. It's for Hawkeye, it's a 6% damage gain for everyone in the party. Full uptime, so it's pretty nice. It's not as nice as 10% critical rate. So yeah, I would say it's 3 as well. Destruction impairment. Destruction, I think it's low. Destruction, I would say it's 1 to 2. Impairment, I think Hawkeye is actually super good. I think like impairment for Hawkeye is actually 4, provided you have Sharpshooter up. Sharpshooter is one of your hardest like impairing skill. Probably it's on like a 20-second cooldown, so maybe you don't have it all the time. So depending on what skills you have, 2 to 4, I guess, depending on how it is. So yeah, it all depends on the sharpshooter skill. Difficulty to master, I think 2.5. So we're going like 0.5 now. I don't know. I don't think it's 3, but I don't think it's like. I think it's slightly higher than 2 as well. 2.3. It's not that difficult to basically play. It's 2 if it's second ally. It's 2 if it's second ally. It's pretty easy to play second ally. Is if death rate, I guess 2.5. I guess yeah. 2 and 2 to 2.5, I guess. It's not that difficult to play, not that difficult to master, but like lining up your burst in death rate is pretty like taxing. It's not as easy as well. So yeah, that would be Hawkeye as well. Scouter all 5. Oh yeah. It is on level 2, different for noobs unless you do transform build. Transform build is so fun, yeah. But people can do transform build in tier 1 Scorpion for demonic. So yeah. But at least Hawkeye should be 5 plus on everything and 10 for weapon glow. There is no weapon glow tier right here, though. 2.3506. You would I mean like class engraving would be available for sure 100%. There is no way class engraving is not there, right? So yeah. Which DPS class has least APM, less micromanagement? Hawkeye is pretty low on APM. Berserker is pretty low on APM. Unless you clicking right click for auto attack includes as like APM, I guess. Let's see. Blaster is low APM as well. Yeah, probably those kind of 3, I think. Square root -8 to 10 power for everything scouter. Oh yeah, hell yeah, here we go. Hawkeye, because you have that range advantage as well. Because that are gonna be kind of broken tier 1 are these that have like a lot of crit chance on tripods, to be fair. Well, the thing is, right, you can't get like a maximum crit tripod right away in tier 1 Scorpion, at least up until like a row handle, right? So yeah. Classes count, and the current state, Hawkeye is in a really good spot, yeah. It's actually pretty difficult to out DPS a really good Hawkeye. So yeah. Not wanted in Hell Mode Party. Hell Mode Party is like really min-maxing, to be honest. And yeah, it's not exactly wanted because of the 6% damage synergy. You're not wrong, but that doesn't mean like no one accepts you. You know, people can still do it anyway. People can still play it. I guarantee you can still find a party even if you play Hawkeye in Hell Mode. Is it like desirable? Maybe not, but people are not that picky normally. Except on the current state where Lance is busted. Alright, Scout now incoming, let's go.
Alright, Scouter, what do we got?
Scouter tankiness 1.
1. Okay, burst damage.
No, actually, I can give him 2.
2 for tankiness, okay.
Burst damage 1.
1, okay. Sustain damage
5.
5. Mobility
5 plus
5 plus, okay. Support
4.
4, okay. Destruction impairment ability.
Including both, right?
Yes, including both.
Okay. 3.
3. Difficulty to master.
2.
2. All right. Last section.
Okay. Weird. Okay, weird. All right. 2 tankiness. They have a massive shield. What? You probably you haven't played Scout on the Legion raid yet, Romo. I'll explain a little bit, I guess. Not a good start. I'm surprised with the 2 with the shields. Yuda doesn't have shield halves. Here's the thing, right? Scout has 2 build. Same thing, right? Scout has 2 build. If you're playing Technology Scout, which is not the transformation, you have 1 as tankiness. It would be just as squishy as Arcana. Squishiest class in the game, again, right? If you're playing Technology build. If you're playing Legacy build, you would be 3. I don't think it's 4 or 5. Because, yes, you're tanky when your shield is up, right? What if you get caught outside of shield? You are 1 now. So it hovers between 1 and 3, basically. Oh, 1 and 4, I should say, I guess. 1 and 4. Since you spend the majority is in like the transformation, right? So we average it at around 3, basically. Anytime you get caught outside of transformation, you're kind of dead already. It's like Reaper, basically. So yeah. Burst damage is 1. Sustain damage is 5. Yep, I guess I can agree with that one on that side. Maybe like I would say for Legacy, for like a technology, maybe like burst is 2 and sustain is... No, I think like burst damage should be like 2 on technology and sustain would be 5. No, I guess 4. 4.5. And then like Legacy will have a higher sustain, but lower burst damage. Would be 1 to 5. 1 to 5, and then like maybe like a 2 and 4.5 for technology basically. Yeah, mobility is 5 plus because of your escape. You have your roll as well. You can tripod it, so you do it twice, which increase your agility, your movement speed as well. You have your space bar at a 9-second cooldown, 7 second if you're in hypersync form. So yeah, mobility is 5 plus. Support 4. I would say it's 3 because it's 6% AP gain as well, just like Hawkeye. It's actually the same. So yeah, impairment is a different thing though. Impairment, I think they should be at like 5. Yeah, I think it should be 5 because like rate missile and energy buster is like 2 of like the hardest, like, well, it's a really high impair skill on demand. Like you don't have any casting, you don't have anything. You just press it and then it does a lot of impairment. Maybe 4, I guess. Maybe 4. I don't know. 4 maybe okay because you don't always have it available. Yeah, I don't think it's 3 though. 3 is like putting it the same as like a bard. Yeah, there is no way. Like, yeah, it's not the same as bard, not at all. I would say it's 4 to 5. Difficulty to master or like again, it depends on the build. Depends on the build. Legacy 1. Technology 3. So average it at 2, I guess. So yep. Say 2.5 for tankiness, yeah. Weird is not all 5, yeah. Wonder why. Tiamat, thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, it's not. I don't know. He's talking about like average of both or something, Raiza. So yeah. Do you think Scout gives you arthritis? No, I don't think so at all. I think Scout gives me pleasure, is what it is. We on to the 0.5 now. Let's go. Yeah, that's why you have the DPS bar. So many good classes to pick as a main. Yep, so many good classes. Pick whichever you enjoy and you can play best. Sup, Janice? Pick what you enjoy. In the end, you will see that this will average out at like pretty close by anyway. So yeah. Well, that's Scout right there. Yeah, for those of you that doesn't know, Scout is my main. So yeah. Don't know if you wanna call me biased or whatever, but it is what it is right there. Once you play it, maybe you will like you can relate with like how I think about Scout. Alright, next decks. Battlemaster. Between Gunslinger and Berserker, just have a hard time deciding. You just try it, I think, Charlie. Just try it, man. We all know Lancemaster is where it is. We'll see, man. Lancemaster is where it is later.
Master, tankiness.
Be 2.
2. Burst damage.
Burst damage.
Battlemaster.
So 1.
Mercy on duty. Thank you for the follow as well. Welcome.
1. Sustain.
Sustain 5.
5. Mobility.
4.
4. Support.
Actually 5.
5 for support.
Yeah, there we go.
5 for mobility.
5 for mobility. Support.
And also 5 for crit synergy.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Destruction impairment.
2.
2. Okay. Difficulty to master.
3.
1.
1.
All right.
Oh, damn,
Infighter.
really? I guess it might not be really that. 1. I don't mind 2, but 1, I don't know about that one. All right, let's go. Alts never hurt once you decide which you like more, yeah. Beginner's build, yeah. If you play beginner's mind, maybe I guess 1, you know. I don't know. All right, Battlemaster tankiness 2. Oh, he said it's changed to 3 later, right? Yeah, changed to 3 later. I feel like it should be 2.7. 2.7. Thing is, it's not as squishy as like Gunslinger, Devil Hunter, Hawkeye, but it's not as tanky as Berserker as well. So yeah, 2.7, boys. 2.7. Burst damage, I feel like instead of 1.5, it should be 2 and 4. Because you still have this buff window where you put all of your skill into it. Basically, right? So I feel like it's slightly more burst oriented rather than 1 on burst. So yeah, 2 and 4 in my opinion though. So yeah, it depends I guess on what people think about it. I don't think like the burst is that low, and I don't think like since the burst is like since it's burst oriented, I don't think the sustain is that high as well. Mobility is 5. It does have a really fast like it even has like a speed buff as well to the party. Yeah, synergy is 5. 100% right there. It has like one of the best party buff. 18% critical rate on a short window buff as well. So yeah, for people that doesn't know, in the end game, short window buff is preferred because like people can put in their burst together in that short window, and it would average out to be like a higher damage gain compared to like just sustaining damage. Like burst window is basically the end game. So yeah, if you want to maximize damage, that's why like 18% crit on a 6-second window or anything else like 12% damage Berserker demonic is really high in the list in my opinion. So yeah, Structure impairment is 2. I think that's fair. Yeah, it doesn't really have a lot. It has an okay amount. And difficulty, I guess 1 is beginner's mind, right? Beginner's mind is probably 1. I can accept 2 if it's not if it's not mind. So it depends, I guess. Depends on whatever it is. 2.785 repeating. Oh yeah. What was Demonic Synergy actually? Crit, just realized it's set as 3. I disagree with this. Demonic Synergy is a 12% damage buff in 6 seconds, just like Berserker. So yeah, so I disagree why it was put at 3. So yeah, Scrapper now. What spec you go for Battlemaster? Crit Agility? Depends. Depends. Most people go crit Agility too, so yeah. Or Agility crit actually, in fact. And game short burst window is more important than sustained damage. Min maxing damage, a short burst window will average out higher than a sustained damage, because if like let's say you have like 3, like let's make it simple, right? Let's say you have like 3 of the short buff window, 10% damage, right? This 10% each on the 3 classes multiplies itself. It's a multiplier. It's not additive. You don't do 30% more damage. You do 130%, 110% plus like 10% of that, which is 133, and then plus 10 multiply by 10% again, if that makes sense. So burst is multiplier, so it gets higher and higher and higher, right? When you do it in a burst. Sustained damage doesn't make use of that like multiplier buff, because you're just like, well, outputting damage 100% all the time, if that makes sense, right? So min maxing it, burst damage has a higher min maxing. Is it needed? Not necessarily, but if you're looking for like if you're like meeting at end range DPS, you probably should start working on your burst window. So yeah. Alright. Next, Infighter or Scrapper. Maybe I should say the English name, right? Yeah, this is a bit difficult right here. English name Scrapper, whatever. Let's go. Scrapper.
What do you got? Tankiness.
Fire tankiness 4.
4. Burst
There we
damage?
4.
4. Sustained damage?
4.
4. Mobility?
4.
4. Support?
4.
4. Destruction impairment ability?
5.
5. Okay, wow. Interesting. Difficulty to master?
3 minus.
3 minus.
Minus
just
3.
under 3?
Yep.
Okay, so...
Oh, 2.7. 2.7. 2.9.
7.
2.7?
There we
Alright,
go.
2.7.
Thank you. You're welcome. Dude. You're welcome. You're welcome.
3.
You're welcome. Alright. Exactly right. I knew it. 2.7. Okay, think about, Infighter, right? Contrary to popular belief, right? Infighter is actually tankier than Berserker. They are actually tankier than Berserker. They have a higher health and armor coefficient than a Berserker. That's Infighter right there. So, yeah. Courtesy of the martial artist class, basically. High health and armor coefficient. So, yeah. 4, yeah. Because it's tankier than Berserker. So, yeah. Again, why though? Why is Holy Knight 4? I don't get it. Okay, burst damage is 4. Okay, here's the thing, right? It's 4 and I think it's 4 and 2 if you play shock build because of burst damage with your green, right? If you play Taijutsu, I think it's more like 3 and 4, I guess. I think in my opinion, yeah. Taijutsu burst 2 to 3 shock 4. Yeah. See, yeah, exactly right. Yeah, I had the same thought with you, Choi. Yeah, 4 is only on shock build, right? But then it's lower sustained damage on shock. But on Taijutsu, you have like 2 to 3 on burst, but you have a higher sustained damage. So it depends on the build, right? So basically it's like, to make it simple, it's 2 and 4, and you flip it depending on the build that you do. If you play shock, which is the green build, burst is higher, which is the 4-2. If you play Taijutsu, it's 2-4. Something like that, basically, right? Mobility is 4. I think it's 4, yeah. I mean, like, it's not really that mobile. It has, like, a decent mobility, some skill. You have a space bar that you can press twice. It's a combo space bar, basically. So you can change direction in the middle of it. So, yeah. So it's still pretty decent. But in general, your class is not actually, like, that fast to begin with. So, yeah. Support, 3, I think it's a 6% AP gain again for everyone in the party. I would say it's 3. I don't know if you put Hawkeye by 3. I don't know why you would put like Infighter at 4. Maybe it was the mistake on the Hawkeye because like Scout is also 4. 2, 3, 4 flipping, yeah. Destruction or impairment 5. It does have a really high impairment. Like Infighter actually has a really high impairment. So yeah. 5, I think it's okay. Yeah. 5, I think it's good. Don't know why Scout is 3 though. Yeah, it's 5. 5 is fair. Let me check if there is any other. Yeah, Blaster should be 5, right? Did I say Blaster 5? I'm pretty sure I said Blaster 5 as well. If you have your cooldown is up. Yeah. So yeah. In fact, I would say 5 as well still. So yeah. Yeah, maybe include using 20% impairment gain support skill. Yeah, but he put like a Blaster at 4 though. Which Blaster has that as well. So, oh, I guess maybe that's the case. I guess. Then what about Scout? I don't know. It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. The thing about like impairment synergy is it's not actually that important. Like people don't really feel that as much. So yeah, think about previous shock build for end game rate. Try it out first, Chris. You might not like it. You might like it. Depends. Wanna play Lance so hard? I wanna see what she ranks at. I think it should rank out pretty good. I think it should rank pretty high. So yeah, rank it in your heart. That's the most important. Okay, well, before Lance, right? We'll keep it in the suspense. I'm gonna go restroom first. I'll be right back, boys. Be right back. Restroom, be right back. Okay. I'm back. I'm back. Stalling. Building suspense. Yep. Unequalized Lance ranking 55555. That's an unequalized Lance right there. Yeah, of course I did, Mashiri. Of course I did. Alright. Next one, Lance Master. Let's go.
7. All right,
Okay.
2.7. Lance Master.
Lance Master tankiness 3,
3. Burst damage.
4,
4. Sustain damage.
4,
4. Mobility.
5,
5. Support.
5,
5. Destruction impairment.
4,
4. Difficulty to master.
3.
3. Soul master.
Okay. Accept me to the guild. Yeah, one sec, what's up? One sec. I didn't hear the sing. Yeah, because the restroom is like 10 meters away. It's all the way back there. Alright. Okay. Lance Master, right? Tankiness 3. I guess you can say 3, but Lance has a. What's the name? Lance has a. The parry skill, right? You have the parry skill, right? The parry skill basically like lets you be like tankier just because of that. Yes, it doesn't change like how tanky it is, but you do have option to basically like nullify some damage, some form of damage. So yeah, we can keep it at 3, but do be mindful that there is a parry skill from Lance, semi warlord. Burst damage is 4. I feel like it would be 3, and sustain damage would be 4. Because like you have a burst damage from like let's say like your dragonfly skill and all of the like the red skill, especially with the 100% critical rate, right? So it's really good on that part. But I don't think that like you have that much of a high burst damage. You have a higher sustain damage because you just keep cycling through the skills on the what's the name on moon stance and sun stance. So yeah, 3 to 4 is more like what I would think for it. So yeah. Is I agree with the 3 individually. This class has a lot of button mashing. I'll explain a bit. I'll explain. Alright, mobility is 5, yeah, because you do have the, really good mobility. Both of your sun stance and moon stance has a mobility skill, and your spacebar is on 6-second cooldown as well. And if you're in moon stance, your spacebar is actually one of the longer spacebar, faster spacebar as well. So, yep. And then support is 5. Same thing with Battle Master. You have this like 18% critical rate buff for everyone in the party. Again, burst oriented, pretty high difficulty, and yeah, you have to like basically like maximize it. but it's like one of the best like buff in the game, basically best like DPS synergy in the game. So yeah, destruction impair is 4. I guess 4 is okay. Destruction, I think it's 5 or something right there. I think it's 5 because it has like 4 destruction skill in total, and then like impairment is pretty high as well if you are on moon stance. So it's I think 4 to 5. 4 to 5, yeah, is that what I would say. Yeah, and then difficulty to master 3. I think I can agree with 3 to be honest. As the like you say like it's like a lot of button mashing, right? I mean you're not wrong if that is the case, right? To play it, it's not really that difficult, right? It would be 2 if you're just playing it okay, playing it just fine, right? But if you wanna master it, if you wanna like play it at the highest level, you need to line up all of your burst window, which is your sun stance, inside your buff window together with everyone else at the same time, right? It's not that easy to do that as well because you have to map it out properly. Because you can't be like you are like your party is entering the burst window, but you just use your red skill, right? You can't just like unga bunga just play it. Basically, same thing apply to the Zerg as well. That's why like it's 3 on that. And it's not like it's hard to play, not necessarily. Like because Zerg is really easy to play as well. But to maximize it to the like the highest difficulty, it's not as easy as you think it is. You know, if that makes sense. Unga bunga, yeah, unga bunga. I mean, like that's like a unga bunga monkey, 1 difficulty berserker, mediocre berserker right there. So yeah, Holy Knight is 1 difficulty. It's 1 difficulty. It's really not that difficult to play. Really not that difficult to play. So yeah, I think I can say it being 2 because again you can like maximize it. You can like maintain the buff and everything. The thing about the buff for Holy Knight is that like you can maintain in full uptime. The only thing that is not full uptime is your identity. So it's not even that difficult because your identity lasts like 20-30 seconds. So it's not that difficult to actually line up as well. So 1 to 2, 2 at most I think. So yeah. Soul Master, yeah, Soul Master next. Just need to have Milkachino as pet. Milkachino. Right, Soul Master, let's go.
Master. This class looks really fun to play. Soul Master. Tankiness?
Tankiness 4.
4. Burst damage.
4. Interesting.
No, actually, Battlemaster's tankiness would be 3. Actually.
3. Okay. Adjustment.
Okay, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Some skills.
Sure.
Burst damage for Soul Master 5.
5. Sustain damage.
5.
5. Mobility.
5.
5. Wow. Support.
4.
4. Destruction impairment ability.
4.
4. Difficulty to master.
3.
Best
3.
class in the game.
Best class in the game.
Confirmed.
Best class in the game confirmed right
Just
there.
kidding.
It's not the best, but no, I'm not talking about all the DPS.
Yeah, I know.
Just about the the each class's abilities.
Sure. Yeah. I know. I'm just kidding. Again, I'm gonna actually address that at the end of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we just put down the burst damage of Soul Master to 4?
4. Okay. Yeah. Keep it down. Keep it down. All right. Tankiness for striker. What do we?
Okay. Let's go. Soul Master right there. There you have it, boys. Rejoice, Soul Master player, boys. Soul Master players. Why is MM tankier than LM? I don't know. That's the thing, right? That's why I think like wait, weird. So yeah, hard to hit the hold. Why isn't difficulty 5? Because you need to 5 head the boss. Characters share here gear? No, they don't. Too many Dragon Ball fans, yeah. Tankiness, I don't think it's that tanky, right? It's more like it's about as tanky as like a lance, I think, right? It should be 3 as well, right? Health and armor coefficient. Let me double check the number here. Oh yeah. Where the hell did I put my list? Okay, I found it. So Soul Master has a 2.1 health coefficient and armor is 1.05 armor coefficient, which is just slightly, actually, is a slightly less tankier than Battle Master and Lance Master because you have like a slightly lower health coefficient. So yeah, I would say still 3, 2.9, 2.7. So yeah, I would say it's not 4. I don't think. What part of like Soul Master could make it tankier? I just don't remember it. So yeah, Soul Master main. She's actually squishy. Yeah, I mean you're not wrong, Choi. So yeah, there is the buff with the negative. Oh, I guess maybe like the yeah, I guess the aura that like make you take less damage. But I mean like, are you actually like using that? you know, for like specific ones. I mean that doesn't change anything though. That doesn't change anything. It should still be 2.7 or 3. Here is the thing, right? Lance has a parry as well. Hawkeye has range. Gunslinger has range. If you count that, then it should be much higher, right? We don't count skills here, at least in my opinion. I mean, like we can say the skills does make it like tankier, right? The damage reduction, yeah, sure, but that doesn't change how tanky the class actually is. It's just more situational, right? Because you can use that one. So yeah, and you wouldn't use it mindlessly as well because cooldown and then like burst window as well. So yeah, I just don't. I even forgot that it was there. That's the thing, right? Can you play this game in America? You will be able to in fall 2021. So yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, that's the tankiness for that. Burst damage, burst damage, burst damage. So burst damage for like Soul Master, right? I think it should be 5 plus to be honest, because your awakening is like basically your burst, right? That's your burst right there. Yes, it's every 2.5 minutes, but I mean like who cares, right? It's the one of the like hardest hitting skill in the game. So well, hardest hitting single hit skill awakening basically, right? So yeah, it's still like the highest one. Poop salad, thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. So yeah, the fuck, what's wrong with you, Poop salad? What the hell's wrong? All right. Okay, okay, okay. We're going on a tangent here. Sustained damage, dude. Honestly, compared to like the burst damage, the sustained damage just feels like it's just lower. I feel like it's like 2 or 3, just because your burst is that high with awakening 5 plus, right? So yeah, do we see Sorcerer's Meteor doesn't hit harder? No, I'm sure 100%. Sorcerer's Meteor does not hit as hard as the awakening, but Sorcerer's Meteor is a skill rather than an awakening, right? That's a different thing. So yeah, yeah, I would say it's like that. I think it's like more like a 5 plus and like 2 or 3 for sustained damage. So yeah. Uh, uh, uh. Sorry if I also reduce incoming damage. Yeah, I mean, does that make you tankier 100% of the time? Not really, right? What about Lance Master Parry? Should make it 5, I guess. As Awakening is just in damage too, yeah. It's just like it's on a league on its own when it comes to the Awakening. So yeah. You have tier 1. I don't know if it's sub tier 1, 2, 3, Sambi. So yeah. 71 is DPS bar spec, and the only time he healed was in the corner for himself. DPS bars right there, DPS bars. DPS bar. Okay, what's next? Mobility 5. Yes, you do have like the triple dash thing, right? Which is like really nice to use. So really good mobility over there as well. So and not even including your space bar. So it does have a high mobility. It's 5. It's not 5 plus. It's 5. Support is 4. Support is 4. Oh, I guess like if you count the damage reduction, I guess. I mean like you can call the damage reduction one, right? So yeah, but for DPS it's only a 4% damage gain, for 6% damage gain for the party, like the usual. I guess if you count, you might be able to count like the 20% the damage reduction one, maybe. Don't know why, but yeah. Healing other than at least your own heal. Yep. Yeah, that's support for the Soul Master. Destruction or impairment for 3 to 4. I would say 3 to 4. I think it's pretty good, but I don't think it's like as good as like, well, Lance Master or like Blade. I think it's like slightly lower than that. Yeah, 3 to 4, I would say. Difficulty 3, because, well, you see, if you miss your awakening, then you're kind of like already like dead weight at that point, right? So, it is what it is, man. It's difficulty 3 solely because you need to hit your awakening and crit that awakening as well. That's why it's 3. Other than that, it's like 1 or 2. Just hitting that awakening is actually what is really difficult. So yeah, that's Soul Master right there. Soul Master. The healing the best player. Oh yeah. Told chat, don't tell them we're gonna heal in this corner. Just like, what the fuck? They lowered it. What's lowered? What is lowered? What do you mean? The Magician really doesn't do anything in Legion, just get one shot. Well, it depends, right? It can help sometimes, Shiro, but I mean, like you use it in within like burst window anyway, your buff. So in your burst window, usually you use it where like there is opportunity. When there is opportunity, usually you're not taking damage. So yeah, don't worry, I'm always lucky. You're always lucky. Yeah, maybe I guess the boss runs to your awakening. All right, next one, striker, striker, striker. Let's go.
We got.
It doesn't mean it's
Mhm.
like it's OP, but I'm just talking about it's decent.
Sure, of course, of course. I mean, if you look at the numbers, though, like a lot of these are like
It used to
they-
be
they're-
to it used to give like 15% to all party. What is damage gain or what? It's 6%. I mean, like I don't know where. Probably season one maybe. Season two is not like that. No one has a 15% damage buff. That's like busted right there. Probably in season one, yeah. Can you go for damage build over crit for Soulmaster Awakening? More consistent damage instead of RNG crit? What? You're supposed to go damage, dude. You're supposed to use specialty crit on Soulmaster Awakening. And you just pray that like that 20% actually crits. You just pray. You press your V, you aim it at the boss, right? And then you pray that it hits. You know, when it hits, you pray again that it crits. That's basically Soulmaster. When it does, then you're basically miles ahead at that point. Especially if it's like under the burst window. Yeah, you just pray again, pray again. Yep. Yeah, just crit, man. It's just that easy. I mean, yeah, you can make it up batches through your crit card, right? Crit card 7%. You know, party synergy. Lance master in your party extra 18% crit right there, right? All of this basically adds up, right? So what you're trying to do is basically still do it in the burst window. And if you do it in the burst window, most of the time you will crit because you would probably have like around 60 to 70% crit rate anyway. Most of the time, not always, but you know, most of the time. All right, let's go. Striker, striker.
they're pretty close, and like, yeah, like this is a 5-2 and this is a 3-5. It doesn't mean that Reaper's better than Demonic, right? There's other variables in it. So yeah, I totally get that. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so tankiness, striker. What do we got?
I haven't played the striker
Mhm.
at all.
Oh,
so
okay. Okay, so just, I mean,
Yeah.
all of these classes are just based off of your personal opinion anyway. So if you had to guess, so we'll just actually put question mark, no experience. So based off of that, where would you put striker here?
This would be same as Battlemaster 3.
Same as Battlemaster. Okay,
The
burst damage.
3.
3. Okay, sustain
3.
3. Okay,
Actually,
mobility
4-2. Can I give him 4-2?
4. 4. Yeah. For
4
what?
for burst damage and 2 for the sustain damage.
Okay. So
Okay,
4 and then 2
okay.
for
Now I
sustain.
agree.
Gotcha. Okay. Mobility.
Luis, no
3.
limit. Take over the flow.
3. Okay.
Welcome,
Support.
5.
5. Okay. Destruction and impairment ability.
2.
Difficulty master.
2.
2. Okay. Perfect. I also want to say one more thing.
Oh,
a lot
shit.
of people.
Wait,
Difficulty
what's the?
master.
2.
2.
Okay, striker, striker, striker. There we go. Here, yeah, striker. Is Fighter not available? No, Infighter is there. It's called Scrapper. Butter. It's called Scrapper. Yeah, yeah, Scrapper, Scrapper, Scrapper. All right, next one, striker. Right. Same with Battlemaster. Same health and armor coefficient. For those of you interested, I guess. Because I know like a lot of people interested in striker. Striker and Battlemaster has a 2.2 health coefficient and 1.05 armor coefficient. That would be for striker right there. Striker, striker, right. Burst damage and sustain damage, I agree with him. He changed it in the end, like it's 4 and 2 because like it. Striker, well, I guess behind Sorceress now has like one of the hardest hitting like burst damage skill in a one shot skill. Right? It's a skill by the way, not an awakening. Uh, Under Sorceress, I guess, because Sorceress is out now. For the burst damage, sustain damage is 2 because I mean like most of the time you're basically like trying to get your gauge to redo this like this burst skill again, right? Like you will see like striker doing like 100 million damage here and there, so in tier 3. So yeah, but basically it's more of a burst oriented one burst oriented like a class. So unlike a battle master, I think like battle master is the reverse, right? Because instead of that, you have like a buff window where you fit all of your skill in. Striker has like one skill doing really high damage with like a lower burst. It's more like shock in fighter, if that makes sense. If you ever play shock in fighter, then striker will be familiar to you, or at least like the blow kill build. Mobility is, I would say, 4. It's not 5. Okay, so battlemaster has 5, right? Striker has the similar skill, same skill as well with the mobility skill. What it doesn't have is this speed buff, basically. Striker is missing one buff compared to battlemaster. There is one buff that striker does not have for the party, so it's less synergy as well, right? It still retains the 18% critical buff, hence the 5 on the synergy right here, but its mobility is lower because like it just doesn't have that like buff over there. That's striker right there. Alright, destruction and impairment, well, I guess same as battlemaster 2 as well, so it's the same thing. Difficulty 2, I mean, like, I would say battlemaster is 2 as well, right? So striker and battlemaster would be like the same as well. 2 difficulty, like at 2 on difficulty. Yeah. Either way though, I still hate the fact that it's like 1 to 5, 1 to 3 on difficulty. I think like a higher range would be like much better. It would be more comprehensive and more easily like discernible. Because like right now you see everything like being really close and like what is this, right? So yeah. Scrap truck, yeah, scrap some garbage, man. Go scrap some garbage. Just one butt buff. We'll see later on. We will see.
Okay, perfect. I also want to say one more thing. A lot of people have no idea what to play because there's so many classes that are coming out and there's so many different builds and all that stuff. So I wanted to at least get the perspective of someone that's been endgame and someone that has been in the rankings and that has legitimate experience. I can guarantee you this right now that there are going to be people that are at his level that are probably going to have disagreements with this, okay? Keep that in mind. That's the absolute truth of it. That's exactly why we did not make a tier list, okay? So just keep that in mind because this is his personal, based off his personal experiences, based off of the personal builds that he has in mind, which that alone just means that this isn't going to be universal because there's different builds for every class, right? So again, I sought out this information from Jiudau, so please, if you guys disagree with this, do not give him shit. That'd be extremely rude. If you're going to give anyone shit, give me shit. I was the one that asked him to do this. He was, if anything, reluctant to do anything as far as the tier list goes. I'm very gracious that he's come out and spent time with me and our community here to actually give his opinion. Jiudau's credentials speak for themselves. Okay, we should all be thankful that he's given us this opinion. If you guys do like it, definitely let me know in the comment section below. If you don't like it, let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, but as far as this video goes, thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely check out Jiudau on his Twitch and his YouTube. I believe you have a YouTube, right, Jiudau?
There is
Perfect.
one.
All those
Jiudau's
links will
YouTube,
be
yeah.
in the description below. All right, see ya. Peace.
Alright. Well, that's the end of the video right there, yeah. Should I mention this in the beginning of the video? He can, but I mean like he did mention in the end. I don't think it's that bad as well. I think it's alright. So yeah, I think it's fine. It's a stat tier list, not a direct tier list, yeah. It's more like a stats tier list. It's not like in relation to the other classes, if that makes sense, you know. Because tier list usually is in relation of the other classes. Yeah, just take it with a grain of salt. But I mean like, depending on like who you are, it's up to you, right? Just take it with a grain of salt. And take like mine rating is also like with a grain of salt. So yeah. Do chores, not react on biased content. Hawkeye useless? What do you mean, dude? Hawkeye is like really great right now. Alright, but that's the end of the video, boys. That is the end of the video. It's good, it's good. I mean, like, I still think, I think, like, they should make it, like, again, right, 1 to 10, make it more comprehensive, the difficulty as well. It's gonna be much easier to discern which is what at that point. So, yeah. But overall, I think it's a good idea to do it this way. I think it's less problematic, you know, rather than, like, an actual tier list. So, yeah. Normal tier list, this is good, this is worse. Stats tier list, this is class strength, and this is the ones. Yeah, pretty much right. Exactly, yeah. Raid sorceress. Sorceress is not there in the tier list though. And sorceress is like, we don't have sets to work with like the sorceress yet, so it's really like unfair to actually raid it right now. It's just unfair because like people just don't have enough. So yeah. Spirul, thank you for the follow. Welcome. But the DPS works, we heard it here. It works, yeah. You see the numbers over there with 1 on burst and 4 on sustain, which is basically worse than everyone else. Just take another DPS at that point. But yeah, alright boys, that's the end of the video. That's good, I guess. That's good, that's good. Alright, let's